What if I told you the key to achieving more isn't doing more, but it's actually resting more? Little counterintuitive, right? But let me tell you a little story. Actually, a few years ago, I found myself exactly where so many achievers do. I was working late into the night. I was saying yes to everything and believing that if I just pushed myself harder, I'd finally break through and achieve my goals. But instead of reaching those goals, I hit a wall and I hit it hard. My health began to decline. My creativity just went out the door. I mean, it flatlined. And the very success I was chasing started to feel meaningless. And I know I'm not alone. Even some of the most successful people out there, professional men, professional women, people like Arianna Huffington. Listen to this. She's the founder and CEO of Thrive Global and of the Huffington Post. I'm sure you've heard of the Huffington Post. She learned this lesson the hard way. She collapsed from exhaustion while running the Huffington Post. In fact, she collapsed and she woke up in a pool of blood. And that moment forced her to reevaluate everything. And what did she discover? Well, that rest just isn't the enemy of success. It's actually the foundation of it. So in this video, we're going to break down why radical rest, let me say it again, why radical rest is the key to sustainable success. We're also going to look at the science behind why rest fuels productivity. And we'll look at a powerful mindset shift that will help you break free from the grind culture. And we'll also look at some practical strategies to incorporate radical rest into your daily routine. By the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a completely new perspective on what it means to be productive. Now, many people are deep into the hustle and grind culture of the corporate world. In fact, they find themselves working late into the night, working insane number of hours. And think about it. Is this you? Now imagine instead of working 60 hours per week, you could do just as much in 30 hours because you are rested mentally and physically. For too long, we have glorified busyness, right? We wear exhaustion like it's a badge of honor, believing that the more we work, the more we hustle, the more successful we'll be. But reality is this: burnout doesn't lead to breakthroughs. It leads to breakdowns. However, we are seeing some of the glimmers of hope that a shift is happening, a shift to radical rest. Radical rest isn't just about avoiding burnout. It's a strategy for unlocking peak performance, clarity, and fulfillment. And for high achievers and women who are balancing careers and families and personal ambitions, this shift isn't just helpful, it's essential. So we've been sold a lie that productivity equals nonstop action. That if we're not constantly moving, we're falling behind. This reality, this hustle and grind culture that developed in corporate America is having long-term and profound impacts on American workers and leaders. In fact, studies show that overwork doesn't just harm our well-being, it actually decreases productivity. Research from Stanford University found that after working more than 50 hours per week, that productivity plummets. And once you hit 55 hours, the study shows that your output doesn't increase at all, meaning these extra hours are wasted. Meanwhile, companies like Google and Microsoft have experimented with shorter work weeks and built in rest periods, only to find, and this is pretty cool, only to find that their employees became more creative, more engaged, and ultimately more productive. This isn't just a nice idea, it's backed by science. Rest fuels resilience, it fuels focus, and it helps with problem solving. And yet, so many of us feel guilty for taking breaks because bosses or coworkers have ingrained in us a limiting belief, a cultural norm that if we're not working hard, we are not working at all. It's way past time to change that mindset. Before we go on though, if this video is resonating with you and you want to gain more balance in your life, check out our free resource, a 7-day productivity guide for leaders. Just comment free tools in the comments and we'll be sure to send you the link. Now back to the video. So I experienced this growing up. As I watched my mother equate rest with laziness. If you weren't working, you weren't contributing. And for years, I carried that belief into my career. But here's what I've learned. Rest isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing the right things at the right time. The best ideas don't come from exhaustion. They come from when you step away. Have you ever noticed that your most brilliant ideas pop up in the shower or when you're taking a walk out in nature? That's because your brain needs space to process, to connect the dots, to innovate. This is why we developed the Mind Flow Cycle program. It's essentially a framework that helps high achieving professionals, professional women, basically optimize their energy and focus and their performance without burning out. When you embrace structured recovery periods, you're not slacking off. You're essentially setting yourselves up for long-term success. Take, for example, one of my clients, an executive, a mother of two, was constantly exhausted. Late nights, she was skipping meals and had no time for herself. She felt like she was barely holding it together. But through our efforts together, she started viewing rest as an investment, not a reward. We built in short, intentional breaks. We set boundaries around work hours. And most importantly, she learned to let go of obligations that didn't serve her at all. And now she has more energy, more clarity, and ironically, she's getting more done than ever before. Rest isn't a weakness. It's your secret sauce. It's your superpower. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the hardest part about taking rest seriously? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one of them. And if this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe for more insights on productivity and leadership and mindset and balance. And if you're ready to start implementing the Mind Flow Cycle into your life, check out the link in our description and comment free tools and we'll send you the 7-day productivity guide. And as always, remember, success isn't about doing more, it's about being more. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.